What is up, everybody? It's Joe from JLDB Games coming at you with another. You guys get on here so fast, my goodness. I've actually, I was so unprepared that I forgot my lighting right here. Hold on. There. There. That's much better. Much better. Okay. So what I got here? Let me go ahead and turn the music back on. I always turn it off like after every single thing. Okay. So what you're looking at now is a entirely new world, and I'm just trying something out, and I don't know how well this is going to turn out, but hey, I decided to give a stab at Thunderation and the area where the new ride is. Now, this doesn't necessarily, excuse me, so you know the world that I made with Outlaw Run and stuff, I'm going to keep that stuff. If this is successful, I'm going to keep that stuff and move it into this world. That's going to be the goal anyways. That's going to be the goal, which is cool. You're playing Planet Coaster while watching this. That's awesome. Me too. I'm watching it at the same time. But, okay, let me see. I'm going to test something if I minimize that, because I don't need to watch my own stream. I'm not going to be making any changes or anything. The cough is real. But the goal with this here is to get, the cool thing with Google Maps, Google Earth and everything, you can actually get that wonderful terrain. You can actually see the terrain in 3D, so that is something that's very helpful. I'm going to use that to my advantage, and I'm going to try and sculpt the park. So it's gonna be difficult. I'm trying a different angle here to maybe see if I can't fit the park in this time, just without, you know, with the with everything in it. So that's gonna be my idea. So again, the stuff that I have made is not gonna be lost. I'm just gonna move it over, hopefully, if this is successful. If not, I'll go back to the other one. So what I'm doing here is actually working a little bit on Thunderation, and I'm going to be working on the construction area as well. So what I'm going to be doing is trying to work on Thunderation, and this has got me a little bit iffy. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do this. There's different ideas here. So I know Thunderation pretty well. So this is going to be weird. So what the thing I'm running into here is I can either use the mine train, which makes sense because it is a mine train, but that track does not look anything like Thunderation. That's the only downside. Or I can use an aero track, which I'm currently using the hypercoaster track, and actually build the custom supports on it, because it's got more of a steel structure like this rather than the actual mine train, which actually has like a railroad kind of feel to it. I mean, because if you look at the mine train, yes, this has the correct train, but these wooden planks don't actually match up with Thunderation very well. I mean, it can, but it doesn't really look exactly like it. So that's going to be the thing. So the only thing I lose if I use this is I'm not going to have the correct train on the tracks, which with this one, it's still not correct. It's still not like It's not exactly like Thunderation's trains, but it's a little bit closer than, you know, having the hypercoaster train. But anyways, so I figured I'd do this and just make custom supports, because it's got the wooden supports and it also has like wooden boards that go across right here, not like the mine train one, but like kind of different. So this is going to be very tricky for me. Oh gosh, darn cough won't. I thought I almost got rid of it. I'm pretty sure I almost got rid of it, but it just keeps coming back to me. So I'm in a custom biome. I got a couple different. This is my first time trying to use kind of the custom biome, so it's kind of interesting. So I'm going to make it look like all of this is under construction, kind of do some blending here, and I'm going to change the intensity. That way I can kind of blend these all together. So this is going to be the service road for the new attraction that is coming next year. And for some reason, the snow and ice kind of shows up in random spots. I don't know if I did that kind of weird. I don't know. Can you switch them while you're in game? I don't know. That's a good question. So if I go to, maybe if I go to settings, graphics, game, probably not. You probably have to do it outside and terrain edit mode. Apply brush. Okay, so these are all the controls. So it's not going to be anything. I don't know if you can change it while you're in game, but you know, I'll just paint everything myself is fine. But anyways, yeah, this is actually the road leading up to Silver Dollar City. This is going to be the road that you take going up, because you actually pass by this area, and it's got this huge wooden wall right now that's in the way of your view. But I got a little bit started on this, just kind of experimenting, and, you know, I'm like, yo, this is looking pretty. So I'm looking at a combination of Google Maps and a POV of Thunderation right now. So that's kind of what I'm kind of looking at, and with Google Maps, I can really get a good idea of the terrain and of how the terrain sets in this area. So we're going to sculpt a little bit of the terrain, and as we go along, we're going to try and build a little bit of Thunderation as well. And I don't want to build any of the custom supports on Thunderation until I 100% know that that is going to be the final product, because it's got a couple of catwalks areas and stuff on Thunderation as well, so we're going to have to build that. So since there's no collision on coasters anymore, we don't really have to worry about any of those issues there. So if I get away from the chat, I do apologize. I am trying to look at stuff full screen on my other screen, so I can actually do this. But anyways, I do apologize if I'm not talking to the stream. I'm actually looking at all the reference stuff right now. I'm gonna glance back and forth to the chat a little bit, but for the most part, I do want to try and get everything everything I want to accomplish here. So we're gonna pull this down, and I'm gonna get a general shape of this new area that's actually being constructed. So I'm even gonna try and put some down. If you looked in Google Maps, they actually updated it now, and they actually have some of the they actually have the land clearing for the new ride and everything, for the new attraction. Sorry, did I say ride? I meant new attraction. You didn't hear that from me. But here we are, and if we go up here is going to be a little bit of the Grand Exposition area, so that's where that's going to be. And then Echo Hollow is actually over here. If I get everything correct here, I want to make sure this is as correct as possible. So I'm going to adjust the coaster here, because it needs to be going more that direction on this part, because this is actually going to be where the lift hill section is. It's got a pretty tight turn here, and it's a kind of a rough turn actually too. So we're gonna angle you just a little bit more this way. So I'm gonna put you at 0. Let's shorten it up just a little bit. Make that just a little bit smaller. Alright, how much of an angle do we got here? So it does kind of do a V shape. Just ever so slightly. So it does this little V shape between these two tracks. I'm using the measurements of those tracks a little bit to try and get an accurate measurement here, and then we hit the brake run right there to start going into the lift hill of Thunderation. So that's going to be where the lift hill of Thunderation's going to be. I got this little valley going on like it actually does. All right, and then I'm going to go back to painting here and make sure this is all green. Whoops. There we go. All right, so that's good there. I'm going to be doing a lot of terraforming and trying to get this in perspective correctly. So, so we have Thunderation here. And now we're working on the construction site for the new ride, new coaster. I said new coaster, but new ride. No one said it was a coaster, so. Who said it was a coaster? not me. Alright, so it's got some elevated spots here. Echo Hollow. So Echo Hollow is over here. Echo Hollow is about right here in this section right here. So we'll keep that in mind. And this is actually all elevated a little bit right here. And then the station building is right next to Echo Hollow right here. So the station building for the new coaster or ride or whatever you want to call it. I'm not going to say that it's a new coaster, but even though there's track on site already. But we're going to get some elevation here because this is a very terrainy area. It really is. And this new ride's going to be using a lot of terrain. That is for sure. Alright, so we're making a nice, let's make a nice little area for Echo Hollow over here. And then there's actually a roadway that goes this way. That actually goes over this track. Kind of like a service road that actually goes this way. And that's actually where the track comes out of the tunnel. That's where the track comes out of the tunnel, and then it goes into the under this into a building to the lift hill for Thunderation. So there's actually a service road going over the top of this track. I mean, I've never been to it, but that's kind of what it looks like. And again, I know it pretty well. That's obviously terrible looking right now because it's actually a little bit small. It's way too large. It's just a tiny road going this way. Nice little tiny service road. But we'll get more into that sooner or later. So that's, I mean, pretty sure it's a service road at this point. I'm gonna go back, see what you guys are saying. Wow, no one's commenting, so that works. That helps me out a little bit. No one's commenting much. That's okay. But, alright. This is actually starting to look roughly like the area we're trying to build. Or sculpt. So, that's cool. Alright, and this goes alongside Echo Hollow just a little bit, right over here. So Echo Hollow is right here in this little spot. The coaster station's going to be right about here. It's almost slightly parallel with this over here, so that's going to be fun to make. I'm actually really excited to make this. I'm going to smooth this out just a little bit more. And we'll make this service road further out over here. It does go a little bit more of a ways on that way, but we'll worry about that later. Alright. Look at that. This is going to be where the new ride's going. Or the new attraction is going. And it is a pretty intense, some pretty intense terrain in this area too. So I'm very excited to see what this coaster is going to do. Now, as of right now, There is like a very large kind of helix section right here of track. You're actually kind of lucky to see it if you can't by the road over here. But okay, so I kind of want to get a rough estimate of where the station building is going to be. Let's just use rough concrete for right now. I'm just going to raise this up a tad bit. It's not quite parallel with this track, but it's pretty, excuse me, pretty close. It's a little bit more slanted that way. And starts probably around this vicinity. Kind of, because Echo Hollow will be right there. Okay, so this is a rough estimate. Kind of. So we'll make this alongside here. This is a pretty large building that is coming in over here, and I just kind of want to get a structure going over here, even if I'm going to change it a lot. Going to change it probably, but okay, so I don't know why I'm doing it this way when I could just be copying the whole thing and oops, just like this, and then boom. A lot easier. It is roughly about this big, I would say. I'd say there's a little bit of a spot on the back right here, kind of like so. Again, I don't know. Let's see, that's roughly about a good size right there. Roughly. How am I going to build the coaster? I can build Thunderation. As for this coaster, I don't know because I don't know the layout. No, I don't think anyone knows the layout. I know there is some track around this section right here already, but already in place. If I can figure out where that section of track is, I might even try and build some track in there, and I don't know. I'll probably use like Eurofighter track for right now, because that's probably the closest to Mac. If I had to guess. Like, I would say that is the closest to a Mac kind of style. That, or you can probably use something else, but I don't know what else you would use that looks similar. But since I'm not actually building the coaster, there's actually... But yeah, it's got that triangular track that actually works well. Oh gosh. So, we're going to do just a little bit. I'm not even going to keep this station, so I'm just placing it in there for right now. Because it's rumored to have a drop straight out of the station. But we're going to mainly kind of focus on a spot that's over here. I might move it around later, but I'm just going to create a section of track here and kind of keep whatever we can here. So I mean, I can get some reference photos, but for right now, this is all we got. But it's kind of got like this huge helix going on. I'm going to delete some of the track pieces because not all the track pieces are actually here. And I'm going to smooth it out just a little bit. I don't know exactly where the track is actually at on site, but I know it's there. That's because I've seen it. But it's kind of, I would say somewhere similar to like this, but we're going to get rid of parts of these here, especially this. So we'll go ahead and get rid of that because I don't need that. And I'm just going to smooth this out, and then we'll change the color here in a second too. Yeah, it's kind of like a helix section here. It looks something similar like this, and that's about all the track they've gotten placed, I believe. And they don't even have all of this down. Like, this piece is not there, I don't think. It's something like that. It's literally looks like kind of looks like this is what they got right now. Something like that. But I'm going to try and get the color as close as I can. It's not quite black. It's actually a very ugly dark green color. And the whole track is the same color, so I'm going to go ahead and change that. But then there's a support right here where you can kind of see the shape that it's going to be taking. That actually looks kind of neat. But yeah, there's pieces of track that looks kind of like this, kind of in this vicinity, I would say. I mean, I could be possibly kind of wrong on the location of where it's at, or where this track's at, but it's somewhere along the lines of right here. And it kind of has like this, and there's a huge tall support right here that actually, and then they got parts of it right there. I mean, that's about all the track work I've seen that they've done. I haven't took a peek of it in quite some time, but yeah. I mean, I could actually pull up some pictures and see what I could find, but but just for the sake of a construction site, we're gonna have. I mean, that looks pretty similar to Mack track. I mean, it's actually looks exactly like Mack track, but it's actually the Eurofighter track, so that looks kind of fun. But all right, I wish Google Maps had the update with the track, but hey, at least it's got some of the construction on there. I mean, that didn't used to be there. It's actually quite new. I think I kind of can see the footers of where the track's up right now. Possibly, it could be closer. I don't know. I feel like it's closer this way, but that's okay. I feel like the station's just a little bit too close here. You can literally see the track right behind Echo Hollow, so it's in this vicinity. So Echo Hollow is literally about right here, and you can see the track right behind it. So but I'm actually really excited, pretty proud of this. This actually looks pretty good. Actually, what it looks like. All right, so for the supports are kind of like they're also kind of green, but they're kind of like a ugly, washed out, brownish kind of or grayish kind of green, kind of like that. There, I can see the colors a little bit better. Let's see, it needs to be a little bit more gray than that. It's not gray enough on the supports. Because they're more closer to a grayish color than anything. And like the connectors look exactly like Mack. That's actually looks very similar to the Mack track on site right now. That's awesome. But yeah, this is cool. I want to kind of maybe even place some footers in some random spots, but I don't know exactly where all the footers are. But anyways, we got Thunderation going on over here. And now we got the new ride being erected over here. But they have pretty much a lot of the support structures up, though, which is really cool. Alright, so the service road connects over here. Let's paint it up a little bit. Oh gosh, no. Change that. Just blend some of this. I like kind of have a little bit of that brownish mud in there as well. Kind of like so. And then, my goodness, I don't know how I'm going to build Echo Hollow, but of course that's going to be an interesting one if I do. Alright, so coming at here, I just created the shape of the station. Now I kind of want to get the height of the station. It's probably going to be... Let's see. It's a pretty tall building. I'd almost say about that tall. Maybe. It might be a little bit too tall, but I can't actually tell. The station building is going to be there. And it's most likely going to have a drop right out of the station. No doubt. No, probably no doubt about that, but... But this station building is kind of very interesting because the terrain, size and intensity here. Pull this up because the bottom of it actually kind of matches the terrain kind of well. Because this station building is built on a slanted kind of hill here, and the service road actually goes right underneath it. So we continue on the service road kind of this way. It's not that big, so we'll loosen that up just a little bit. But there is quite a bit of a slant right there. Again, I can't tell exactly how tall this station building is, but it's pretty stinking tall. I'm actually pretty proud. Like, I don't know why this track makes me so happy, but it literally looks something similar to like this. Like you can tell where the pieces are missing, but it has the supports there. But yeah, and that looks pretty like that looks exactly like the track too. That's the best part. All right, so trying to figure out what I'm going to do here. I was working a lot on Thunderation over here, and paths. But if I can get some, I'll probably get some reference photos up for this station building if I want to build it. So let's go ahead and take a look at some reference photos for the station building. Let's see. I'm going to look for it. There's actually some good pictures on some certain spots here. I just need to get some good photos and see if I can't get some good reference photos and go from there. All right. Where is it at? There's a, I'm looking for a certain link here. I think this is it. I think I found it. Yep. Alright, got some good reference photos here. of the massive station building. And got some pictures of Echo Hollow too. So you can see a good picture of this track. Again, I don't know if the track's, the way I built it was exactly the way it's going to look, but, or the way it is, but. Oh, is this a different one? Ah. Let's see. Alright, so I got a good front view of this. So this is from this side. And get a good, also a good view kind of from here. We're gonna go ahead and edit this in, and we're just gonna put in some walls. I don't know if these are I'm gonna use this wall because it's recolorable, and it's kind of got a similar feel to it. So these walls are not painted yet, so I don't know what color they're gonna be. So I'm gonna kind of try and give them that wooden color, that kind of that bright wood yellow-ish color. If I can find that color. It's kind of a tough color to find that I'm actually looking for. Kind of more like this. Kind of like gold. Yeah. Alright, so the maintenance bays will start right there. Then I got this here. There's some windows on the sides as well, so we'll keep that in mind. Whoops. we'll just do this. We'll see how this turns out. Hopefully kind of good. Again, that might be a little bit small or shorter than what this top piece is. That was just an estimate. So after that, we kind of can see the bay of probably about 2 sections here. Got a message. Oh, Jess is so tired. She's not here right now. Hope she's having fun. Alright, so we're going to leave 2 wide open here. I'm going to go up there. Again, this is just kind of, I don't know, I still don't really care for the color. Like, could have been better. But I think I can get rid of all this up here. Just gonna, Whoops. It's kind of weird because there's kind of a hole up there, but I'd say that's kind of a 1 meter piece above it at the very top. We'll go with that. I hope this turns out good. So far, I'm not very satisfied of how it's looking. I feel like it could look a little bit better. Here we go. I'm going to go Control D, and we're going to actually turn down the grid size so I can see, do that. Except I'm going to make this just 2 HPs, 2 height or meters, whatever you want to call it. And this kind of is where the opening is for the station. There, I got a better view of it right here. Not all the walls are completely up yet, so I have more walls than I'm supposed to up here. But that's okay. And then we can get a slant going up here. It's actually a very gentle slope. It's funny, I'm building a thing that's not even open yet. But I'm sure people don't mind. Alright, so this is probably about 2 meters on the top here. It lines up with the bottom piece right here, actually. Gosh darn it. I want the inside up here, and the inside up here. There we go. But we're going to get rid of... Actually, not going to get rid of that. We're going to add another slope going into this because it goes kind of like that. There we go. And then we're going to fill this in. I think it's about roughly a good scale. Probably not perfect, but... And of course we're going to need to add some details to this building, even though it is unfinished in real life. So we're going to go ahead and add this all the way across. I don't know if I made this too long or not, but... There we go. And then we can actually copy the roof here, the roof pieces, or the slanted pieces, rather, to the other side as well. That way we don't have to worry about those. I don't know exactly on the other side for the other pieces, but this is kind of looking weird. Am I building Thunderation or the new ride? Kind of both right now. This is Thunderation over here, and this is what we kind of know of, but the new ride. The little bit of track that's actually been erected in the past couple of weeks. So, because we don't actually know just yet all the details. Okay, so I'm going to, let's go ahead and close this up. We'll just duplicate the other side here, because I'm assuming that this is going to be kind of like that. Did I do it this way? I can't remember if it was that low. Did I make it that low? I guess I did. I guess I did. Well, I'll tell you what, this building doesn't look... doesn't look exactly correct. Mostly because I haven't put any of the small details on it just yet. And then let's just make some of the pitched roofs here. I'm just gonna go with the iron roofs right now because it's the closest thing we have at the moment. It's not exactly the right texture, but I'd say it's the closest thing we have. Alright, so I'm just gonna copy all this and duplicate it. It's hanging off. Hangs off just a pinch, but not that much. Oh gosh. Alright. So that's just a little bit of this it looks terrible right now, but that's just a little bit of the station building. Because I haven't detailed it or anything, and I could probably change the color of that yellow a little bit, but it's gonna be something similar like that. It's gonna drop right out of the station, no doubt about it. It's got to. I think that's kind of clear. So, but that's kind of where we're going off at right now. We'll see. But I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. It's been a fantastic day. It's 10 o'clock at night already. Where did time go? I really don't know where it went, so. And then we got the massive helix over for Thunderation, which is always fun. It's very kind of toasty and hot in here. Okay, so that's developing right there. So Thunderation goes over there. See, Thunderation station building is over here, just off to the left of the new station building for the new ride. Okay, so I'm trying to view in my mind how this is going to go. So the helix is going to go around here, back over here. So Thunderation Station will probably be about right here where my mouse is. Roughly. Roughly around there. Okay, so I could start trying to figure out Echo Hollow here. I've never made a theater, definitely not a theater like that, so I'm thinking about just holding off on it right now until I kind of figure out how I'm going to do it, because it's kind of a pain in the butt to try and figure out. So this will all be underground right here for Thunderation. Because it's going to go in the tunnel. So Thunderation's lift hill is quite a lengthy ways away from the new station building and everything, so in fact, the helix is right next to it. So I might have to redirect Thunderation's brake run again. I'm just trying to think of how exactly am I going to do this, so. Alright, so Thunderation Station. Will be. It's kind of pointed this direction. So if I point this just a little bit more this way, make the lift hill that direction, I can go around and back to the station. So if I go gotta have this pretty far up because of the terrain, my goodness. This is just a placement for, it's not gonna actually serve as a real station or anything. Just gonna serve as that over there. Because it can. But yeah, this is pretty cool. I'm actually quite pleased with how this is starting to go. Again, I'm just experimenting with you know, the recreation of Silver City, and don't actually know if this is what I'm gonna go with, or if I'm going to go back to that other world, because this is taking up a little bit of space here, so we only got so much space to work with. And of course, I could use both of the worlds, and this could be just a different section, and it could be in a two-parter. You never know. I don't know how I'm going to do it. So, so that's cool. But I'm going to go ahead and save this. As Silver Dollar City World. I'll just say world because I don't know if I've used the name Silver Dollar City yet. So I'm going to head out of here for right now, and we're going to take a look at the current state of the other world that I started in with the Outlaw Run and Giant Swing, which is right here. Actually saved as Outlaw Run is the name of it. So this is a what I've been working on for a while, for the last couple episodes, or the last many episodes was this world, and it mostly had the Outlaw Run section done. As you can tell over here, we have the Outlaw Run area, which is really, really cool. I'm actually very, very pleased of how it's turned out so far. The terrain is a pain in the butt. Here we got the giant swing and a little bit of the Lost River going, and then a bit of the steam train area that is going to be here. So lots of different cool things going on with these, with this. So very difficult terrain-wise trying to figure out how this is all going to play out and everything. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. You can see I started to work on the high-low silos because it's not an actual flat ride in the game, so I have to create it myself. And that's just the start of it. And there's actually not walls here, but I used them as a little bit of a placeholder. So, pretty cool giant swing. So, the world here has this section, and I don't know, I'm going to try and fit as much as I can into the worlds. That's been my goal, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit the whole entire park. I want to fit the whole entire park in one. That's my goal. It really is my goal. You know, Fireman's Landing is going to be somewhere over here. I don't believe I'm going to be able to fit Expo in here or Thunderation. I'm not sure how it's going to work. So that's kind of why I've kind of decided to work a little bit on the opposite side of the park in a different world and see how that all plays out. So this is going to be kind of an interesting development and see how everything kind of turns out for the park and everything. So, but yeah, I'm very proud of the Outlaw Run area. It's starting to look really good. And you can see the station in here. Not perfect just yet. Still a lot to do, actually, on the everything here itself, because it's a lot. And then I got I'm very pleasantly happy with how the exit and disabled entrance turned out, looking pretty good. I actually am gonna change the fences just a little bit. I think I figured out how to make those look a little bit better and more like they actually are. So we got Outlaw Run here, which is not complete. I mean, the segment is complete, but I still got some track work to actually work out on this, because it's not exactly perfect, and it's not exactly perfectly smooth just yet either. So we're going to be working a little bit on that. The 153 degree outside bank turn, then we got the turn there, and then the wave turn, which is always fun, and then of course the barrel roll, double barrel roll, which does go upwards, and everything here is not accurate still, so we gotta work on it a little bit. And then of course we got the transfer track that I was working on as well, which is pretty snazzy. Yeah, the little maintenance area, which is pretty cool. But this is the most detailed so far area that I've worked on. That has the most details done. Looking pretty snazzy. You got the tarp queue line section. The only downside is it's got all these parts to it because I used that tarp awning for it. But I think we can kind of just ignore that. But now that we got custom billboards, I might be able to do just a little bit more with all this. There's a gift shop, and everything's going to look really cool with this. So I might actually get an actual picture of these photos here and actually place them in here myself as well, and actually get some really cool accurate stuff going on. So that's going to be neat. But we'll see how everything turns out in the long run. I'm very, very pleased with how all this actually has turned out in the Outlaw Run section. Really, really cool. But I hope you guys agree too. Like, and then I love the Outlaw Run star too. I mean, still got a couple of things to place in, because right now the star is levitating, but just little things like that are going to be a really fun thing. You got the little corral here. There's actually some trees in there as well that you have to add, but starting to look pretty cool. And then you got the very big extended queue line section here, followed by the Trailblazer entrance that will lead down to that gate. We got the transfer track for the ride. Pretty cool in the entrance. And that's supposed to be the test seat, what I have of it so far. But yeah, it's coming together quite nicely. And I knew there was going to be some ask for a POV, of course. But here we are. And you can see the other train going through there. Again, this is still on the rough side of things, so it's not exactly the best in the world as of right now. Gotta wait for the other train to go, and then we'll send ourselves out of here. But a lot of track work still to do in this, so it's still in beta. We'll say this track is still in beta and testing, so it's not final just yet. Nothing here is final. But we gotta wait for it to go. So I'll just fast forward until it goes. Here we go. But you can see the beautiful structure. I wish we had the RMC trains on the wooden coaster, on the wooden RMC track. I don't know why we have like the gravity group trains. Doesn't really make sense to me, but oh well. So we go over the hill. And the 81-degree drop. And I actually accurately measured it to make sure it was going 68 miles an hour at 162 feet. Again, everything, it's not the smoothest. It's a little rough around the edges still. Got the wave turn. The last hop. And then the barrel roll is still jagged. Quite a bit. Just trying to do my best to smooth it out, but it's got a little bit of ways to go. And I got the train stopping pretty accurately, not the greatest in the world, but usually the last couple cars are still kind of bent on there, so it kind of stops right there, which is kind of neat. Kind of a neat thing to note. And then I hate having this exit here, like it's just stupid looking. But yeah, it looks pretty good. But yeah, there's the here's Outlaw Run. At least what I've got done of it so far. So, by far the most I've detailed in a section so far. Let's have a look through the 153 there. Let's take a look at the results. It doesn't even have greens across the board, which makes me a little upset. I'm like, sure. I mean, it looks pretty accurate. Just a couple more tweaks that do need to be addressed in there, though. So, anyways, I just wanted to show you guys that part, that section, since I actually did the, anyway. Where is Silver Dollar City located? Branson, Missouri. Right in Missouri. Branson, Missouri is where it's actually located. Before, just so you know. So that's pretty cool. Oh gosh. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I know I didn't really do much in this episode. I was just kind of experimenting a little bit. But pretty fun. Fun stuff. And I can't wait a couple years down the line when this is probably going to be at least semi-close to complete, I hope. Maybe someday. You know, I work on it every so often. But anyways, lots to do. of course, and I hope to someday get this finished. And who knows how many episodes it's going to take. Who knows how much time it's going to take for me to get it done. But someday I just want to really get this done, and it'd be so cool. And hopefully it will be really neat, and you guys will just like the best recreation ever. That's my goal. And it's a very hard recreation with all the terrain everywhere and stuff like that. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe for more content like this. And I will catch you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching. And have a great day and even cooler tomorrow. Thanks, and goodbye.